Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with the mid-season finale of Once Upon a Time, which is the 11th episode of the third season of American Fantasy Drama. It is titled Going Home. And this episode, oh my god, it was so, if you did not see it, it was freaking good. I'm gonna start off with the characters past. We have a couple of pasts because within this episode we had a couple of flashbacks from various characters, and then we have the main story within Storybook, and then we have a future sequence. So within this stuff, I'm like, oh my god! I actually uploaded 3 clips from this episode, which is more toward the ending. If you need to see it, if you never saw it. So starting with the characters past, we're gonna do Snow White and Prince Charming. As the curse prepares to take place within hours, Snow White and Prince Charming tell the Blue Fairy that they are worried about the curse. The fairy tells them that there's nothing she can do except try to save the baby, and that someday everything will be okay. Someday. This is not the answer that Snow wanted, but Charming keeps on assuring her that everything will be okay. Snow then looks at Emma's crib and believes that the only thing she hopes her daughter will have is hope. I'm like, hey, you gotta feel bad for Snow, because it's like she has a baby and she just wants her happy ending with her husband and with his family, and now she has this beautiful crib set up for Emma, and she's not even gonna be able to raise her own daughter. She's not gonna see her daughter again until 28, when the child is 28. So she's gonna miss everything of her daughter's life, everything. And for a mom, that is hard. So in Neverland, Captain Hook, while he Captain Hook and Mr. Smith attempt to find a way off the island, Hook is unaware that someone has been following them and uses a branch that takes me out. Hook then looks at his unconscious mate and is surprised by Tinkerbell, who pulls out a knife in front of him. However, Hook, figuring out that Tinkerbell is a fairy, tells him that he only has one thing on his mind, which is to seek revenge on Rumpelstiltskin, aka the crocodile. He then offers her a bottle of rum. I'm like, really? You gonna offer a fairy a bottle of rum? In Rumpelstiltskin and Belle's flashback, at Rumpelstiltskin's castle, Rumpel is marking Bellefire's birthday and Belle approaches him. She says that maybe Rumpel and the sun can someday be together again, but Rumpel, who did not want Belle to bother him, doubts that will ever happen. I'm like, oh, poor Rumpel. Even though he has never stopped trying to find that boy. You gotta give him credit for that. Compared to Peter Pan, Henry and Mary Margaret. In the days prior to Emma's arriving to break the curse, Henry is talking to Mary Margaret, saying that he is frustrated that no one else in Storybook can see that their lives are just following a predictable pattern, referring to the entire time repeating everything everything since he arrived. Like when we saw Regina waking up today and Archie is walking the dog. Must go close the shop. Like everybody's kind of doing the same thing day after day. It's kind of like oh. So as a way to get Henry to believe in himself, Mary Margaret gives him a large book called Once Upon a Time, which will set things up for Henry to bring his birth mother's storybook. This after Henry starts seeing Mary Margaret as Snow White, because he flips open the book and he sees a picture of obviously Snow White and Charming holding a baby. The baby says named Emma, and so then when he looks up at Mary Margaret, she's dressed as Snow White. So he's like, oh my, I'm like, that boy's good. And she Mary like, what's wrong with you? He's like, oh, nothing. So, present day Storybook. At the well, Pan, who is still occupying Henry's body, and Felix are talking about casting the curse. As Pan drops the ingredients he took from Regina's vault in the well, then takes the final element needed to enact it, which was Felix's heart because of his loyalty to Pan. Pan then rips out Felix's heart and kills him and drops the ashes into the well. Back at the vault, Gold explains that the only person who can stop it is Regina, but she would need to scroll to do it. And since she was the one who enacted it in the first place, Regina is the only one who can destroy the scroll. However, Gold warns Regina that there will be a price. As Gold always says, magic always comes with a price. Gold also tells the others that he may be able to switch Henry and Pan's bodies back, but he needs the one thing that will reverse it, which is the wand of the Black Fairy. As everyone involved begins to search, Snow talks to Emma, lamenting that she never got to raise her daughter, while at church, where the other fairies / nuns are gathering for Mother Superior's wake, David, Tinkerbell, Hook, and Neil are looking for the wand. Now I'm curious, since we saw the fairies, that Black Fairy, I'm guessing she's Iridescent. I'm guessing that's who she is, Iridescent, because I'm thinking about Tinkerbell's fairy line. Unaware that the other individual is also looking for it as well, Pan's shadow. When Hook spots the shadow, he attempts to stop it but can't, prompting Tinkerbell to come to his aid, and she uses some of her pixie dust to fly up to the shadow. She traps it and throws it into a nearby fire, apparently killing it. Her actions also bring Mother Superior, whose shadow was taken by Pan's shadow, back to life. She then restores Tinkerbell as a real fairy and gives them the Black Fairy's wand. Yay! I do believe in fairies. I do. That's from the 2003 version of Peter Pan. Back at Gold's pawn shop, everyone gathers again to plan course of action as Gold puts a special bracelet on Henry, who is occupying Peter Pan's body, so that when they swap bodies again, Pan will not have any magic. Gold then uses the wand and swaps Pan and Henry's bodies back. After seeing Peter Pan back in his original body, Gold stands over his unconscious and powerless father, saying that he has some unfinished family business, as everyone leaves to find Henry and the scroll. They find Henry, who is now in his original body, at the library. But as he hands the scroll over to Regina, a flash of light comes over her and she is knocked out. At the same time, at the shop, as Pan awaits, Gold taunts him because he wants Pan to see a bit of what life could have been like if they had just been father and son. But Pan wants none of it, telling Gold how horrible it was having a child that crushed his dreams. He was pretty much saying that when I looked at your squirming body, you were like a worm, a larva, sucking away my money, my fun. I'm like, damn, dude, this is oh my goodness, Pan is just, he really did not want to be a pappy. God, like the things he just told Gold, I'm like, really, dude? Wow. So Gold then picks up a sword and approaches Pan, unaware that he's able to remove the bracelet since Pan created the device, and he places it on Gold, rendering him powerless, and then tosses Gold across the room, leaving his son cowering in the corner. Gold then attempts to find a way to regain his powers, and the only way he could break free of the bracelet is by chopping off his hand. Later at the street, Regina wakes up and says she knows what must be done to stop the curse. However, Pan shows up to retrieve the scroll and freezes all of them. Pan then decides to take out his grandson Neil, only to be thwarted by Gold, who shows up to stop him. After vowing to Neil and Belle that he's finally ready to pay the price to keep them safe, knowing that means killing himself, Gold's shadow appears carrying the Dark One's dagger and hands it to Gold, and stabs both Pan and himself at the same time. Pan then transforms back into Malcolm, who urges Gold to stop before it is too late. But Gold tells his father, I am a villain, and villains don't get happy endings. He then twists the knife, and both men vanish in a burst of light. As Pan disappears, the freezer spell on everybody unfreezes them. Belle cries after they disappear, and Neil asks a hesitant Regina if there is a way to stop it, only to have Regina reveal that the only way to stop it is to give up the one thing she loves most, Henry. As the curse approaches, Regina tells Emma that she and Henry will have to leave Storybrooke forever, because once the curse takes place, everyone will return to the Enchanted Forest, and since Henry was born in a land without magic, he won't be able to go back with them. But Emma will be able to stay with him because she escaped the first curse. As everyone says goodbye to Emma and Henry, Regina gives the two a spell that will give them good memories, but they will not remember the events that broke the curse in the first place. As Emma and Henry drive away, Regina destroys the scrolls as the curse consumes everyone, and Storybrooke disappears. So in Emma's new past and in the future, in 2001, Emma gives birth to Henry at the prison hospital. However, the outcome takes a different twist. Instead of giving Henry up, she decides to keep him instead after she sees her son for the first time and she holds him, thus altering the outcome of her destiny thanks to Regina's spell. Fast forward to 2014, New York City, where we find Emma and Henry in an apartment. As she makes breakfast for Henry, she receives a knock on the door. When she opens it, she sees Hook standing outside saying that he needs her help. This time around, Hook warns Emma that her family is in trouble, but she has no idea who this person is or what he is talking about. Hook believes that true love's kiss will bring her memories back, attempts to kiss Emma, but the shock results in Emma pushing Hook away and immediately slamming the door in his face. So it's about to go down. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So in this opening sequence, we see Emmiko's vehicle drives into the forest. Not only that, but if you saw the previews, teaser for future episodes, we see the coolest witch of all time, the Wicked Witch of the West. I'm like, yes, about time, because they've been hinting at freaking The Wizard of Oz with the words Tin Man and Ruby Slippers. They've been hinting at it like for so long. I'm like, yes, we about to finally get to The Wizard of Oz. Because we did see a door, if you saw, was it, I believe it's season 2, when the Mad Hatter was showing Regina various doors. There is a door that shows a yellow brick road heading to Emerald City. I'm like, Wizard of Oz, hello, about time you get there. I'm like, what? Yes. But this episode was also sad because Rumpelstiltskin was my favorite character, man. He was my favorite character. Now he's gone. And watching Belle cry and Neil trying not to cry at the loss of his daddy. It was like, oh, it's too much for me. It's too much. And then Regina having to say goodbye to Henry and Emma having to say goodbye to her parents because she just found her parents and now they're being taken away from her again. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is too much. It's too much. Like, once upon a time, how dare you tug at my heartstrings. But overall, it was a good mid-season finale, and I can't wait to see the Wicked Witch of West. The show will return in March, and the first episode in March will be titled New York City Serenade. So I'm guessing Captain Hook is going to try to woo Emma. So I'll see you guys next time. Comment, subscribe, and you guys have a beautiful holiday.